frankly, it was flattering to to see the response and questions from you guys and comments and you guys uh, commenting back and forth with each other. Kind of makes you smile because I started filming these videos to leave something behind for my kids. It continued making them because I got a lot of enjoyment out of the process, and now it seems like this little community is growing of people just like me. Uh, People that are just like me from years ago, just starting out, and it's wonderful. And thank you for all the support. Welcome to the channel. And for a new trader out there, you don't have to just hear it from me. I mean, I'm giving you my take on things through my own personal lens of my experience. But the gold is in the comments. You guys are rocking it. Giving insight for other people to interpret, because there's a thousand different ways uh, that you can trade, and I think the important thing is to zero in on a way that complements your lifestyle. If you've watched any of the previous videos, you know that I get up in the morning and I go to work like all of you do. Put my boots on one leg at a time, cinch up my pants, and grind out a shift in a chemical plant every day. And by the way, I I love my job. I work with great people. We've got a great team, but that entrepreneurial spirit has always burned, in my belly to have something that was mine. And and uh, and I'm very thankful that I had an experience, way back in my younger days, uh, in high school. A friend showing me the Financial Times page in the newspaper, and seeing all those stock quotes, because it stuck with me my whole life. And you know, if you're just getting started, welcome to the wonderful world of trading, as it can truly set you free. But you've got to have a plan. You can't you can't approach, excuse me, you can't get into trading haphazardly. It will very quickly take your money from you. There's someone out there with more experience, more than willing to take the other side of your trade, and generally they're going to come out on top. But you can flip the script. You need a strategy, like I said in the beginning of the video, that complements your current lifestyle, whatever that may be. You may be working a job all day long. You may be working the night shift. You may be going to school. Hell, you may not be working. Um, but you need a strategy that seamlessly integrates into your day-to-day, because trading, especially for a new person, and heck, I oftentimes experience it myself still. There's an emotional roller coaster attached to trading. When you've got real money on the line, when you've got your hard-earned money at risk, in the market, trying to make something out of it, it can cause a little bit of brain fog, and entice you into making a bad decision. You see, because nothing in trading is guaranteed. Uh, Not one of us has a crystal ball. You know, if we did, man, it would be like shooting fish in a barrel. But we don't. So what do you do? You create an edge, just like a casino has. You know, they've got a slight edge over all the gamblers visiting Atlantic City and Vegas. You know, and it's not much of one, but it's enough of one. And look what they've built. So if you think about it that way, you know, what is your edge? Well, you have the ability to create a double-edged sword, if you will. You know, one side is your trading strategy, and one side is your mental outlook. And one without the other is not going to get you very far. But when you marry them up together, you got a winning recipe. And you know, one that will allow you to extract money out of the markets almost at will. Um, Now, there's going to be times when your trading idea just doesn't work out, and and that's the way it is. That's just the trading game. It's not an instance where you know you should start looking to modify your trading strategy. Just chalk it up to a loss. It happens. You know, if you've watched any of the previous videos where I talk about back testing, you know that what you're looking for is a winning percentage over time. And, you know, I'm not a high frequency trader. I guess I'm what you would call a swing trader. You know, I'm usually in and out of the market on the trades that I place anywhere from 1 to 4 days. You know, investments a little bit longer. I mean, it could be a couple of months, you know, trading on a weekly time frame for my longer term investments. But for my my trades, my normal trades, I almost called myself my day trades. I'm not a day trader. Um, that 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 style of trading just isn't one that marries up very well with uh, with my current job. You know, would be way too distracting, and plus, you know, I don't feel like it's fair to the company to to be doing something for personal gain, while they're paying me to do something else. So what I've learned over the years is that trading on a daily time frame for me is the sweet spot. You know, I don't have to concern myself with what's happening during the day. You know, I look at my charts when I get home in the evening. You know, Monday through Thursday. Uh, I don't place trades on Friday. You know, just because I don't want to hold it over a weekend. I'll look at the charts on Sunday before the market opens for Monday. You know, if I'm in a trade already, you know, that's another story. But I won't typically enter a trade on a Friday before the weekend. Um, and I've determined that that little rule, that little nugget, through my backtesting results. So what is backtesting? Backtesting is a way for you to validate whether or not you've got a trading strategy or a trading idea that will produce profitable results over time. Uh, I typically look back a year in time, you know, when investigating a new commodity, um, in the futures market. I primarily trade 30-year bonds That trading symbol is ZB. That's pretty much my bread and butter. But I started out in corn and soybeans because the barrier of entry is lower from a daily margin perspective. ZB will run you about $3,500 for each contract to hold it overnight. There are others, 5-year notes, 10-year notes. I think they're ZN and TN, ZF are some of the symbols. Margin requirements are lower. Good spot for a new person to start, when they get to a point where they're ready to start live trading, because the margin requirements are lower. But they pretty much mirror 30-year bonds. The price structure, the candle formations. If you switched from one to the other, you almost can't tell them apart. Now, of course, you stand to make less in those, but the risk is lower too. So it's comparable. Getting back to backtesting, though, that is a way for you to prove to yourself you've got a strategy. And how do you do it? It's pretty simple. Once you got your chart opened up, set it to whatever time frame fits your trading style. If you don't have one yet, go to a daily time frame. Set it up for a day. Go back a year in time. Focus in on the candle or the bar on the right side of the chart, because that won't let you see anything in the future. And advance it one bar at a time, and apply the rules to your trading strategy, however simple or complex that may be. But do it the same way each time, and log the results in a journal. Grab yourself a notebook. I use an Excel spreadsheet just because it lets me filter, different conditions. But start out with a notebook. It's simple. Write down the date, write down the instrument symbol, write down what your profit target is, what your stop loss is, of course your entry price. I'd leave a column for notes about which of the rules of your trading strategy lined up. Hopefully it's all of them. You may have varying degrees of importance that you associate with one rule over the other. But try to be as consistent as you can, because consistently inputting your trading strategy rules into your decision is going to, make the outcome of the backtesting test, if you will, more accurate. This little exercise should only take you a couple hours, depending on how many rules you've got, and tally up the results and what's your winning percentage. Does it make sense? As a swing trader, I have a high percentage win rate in my trading strategy, but my trading strategy also takes a lot of patience. There could be, a week or two where I don't place a trade because I'm waiting for my setups. The higher the frequency that you're entering trades, or that you see trade setups based on your strategy, probably is gonna result in a lower winning percentage rate, and that's okay. It's all in the risk management side of your entry, and once you're done with that, it's not a one and done exercise. I would look at the results. Take a look at the losses. Take a look at the instances where where you would have gotten stopped out, and review your strategy rules to make sure that you follow them, because in the beginning, there's a lot of moving parts, and it's easy to make a mistake. We're all human. I only know of one person that walked on water, and it's not me. So, you know, mistakes are part of the human existence. So don't sweat them. Just make sure that you followed your rules. The success or failure in the beginning, my recommendation would be not to focus on the money that you may make. Focus on, did I follow my strategy? Because consistently applying your back-tested, proven to you strategy, is the first pillar to your success in trading. And without that one, it's going to feel a lot more like gambling. And in creating a trading business, which I hope is your goal, and not just chasing the adrenaline or the rush of the trading game. If you're creating a trading business, then consistency will pay you dividends. That's what makes your trading life, or the results that you will see from your trading life, repeatable. And that's really the name of the game. It's finding a strategy that you can integrate into your daily life without much distraction. And time is on your side. Patience is the greatest virtue you can develop when you're learning how to trade. And there is a wealth of information out there to get you the academic side of your learning curve. There's videos all over YouTube. I've got a number of early videos on my channel, which are the ones I started filming when I first started out making these videos for my kids. Now, we apologize in advance. The production quality of the videos looks more like a home movie. Like back in the old, VCR camera days. And that's because, I'm not a professional YouTuber or a videographer. I'm just trying to capture information for the kids to be able to refer back to later. But the information's there. The academic piece of the puzzle is there. Watch them. Take a small investment of your time. Or heck, like I said in the beginning of the video, all the comments that I've been getting, and again, thank you guys so very much. It's great to see the engagement. It really does make me smile. But there's nuggets of wisdom in there. There's people dropping, insight, a glimpse behind the curtain, if you will, to their experience. But don't take it blindly. Test it for yourself, and see if it works for you. Because God gave us each two eyes, and we all oftentimes can be looking at the same thing, but it's through a different lens, and we interpret things differently. That's what makes us so special as human beings. Each one of us is individual, and your trading strategy and your approach to trading should be individual as well. It goes back to that old story. If you give a guy a fish every day, they're going to be dependent on you. But if you teach a guy to fish, Or if you learn yourself how to fish, you'll never starve. But just like trading, if you go to the aisle at your local Walmart or farm store or wherever you do your shopping, you know, there's hundreds of different lures and fishing tackle on the wall for you to choose from. You know, trading strategies are no different. You just need to find the one that works for you. Stick to it. Become a master of your craft. Become a master of executing your trading strategy. You know, stick to just a couple of instruments. Learn how they move. Uh, you will be in a much better place. Uh, and and I look forward to reading more comments and hearing about your guys and gals' success. Uh, the idea of having a little community here where we can all learn from each other, man, that's powerful stuff, and it's all because of you guys. Um, so again, appreciate the support. Um, I wish you all the success in your journey. If you got any questions, drop a comment. If you like me to talk about, an experience you may be having that I'm sure I've experienced it as well. We're all at different spots in our journey, and let's learn together. So with that, I'm getting close to the plant. We're getting ready to go into an outage here, so got to kind of get my mind right for that. Last few minute drive into work. Hope you guys have a great day. See you on the next clip.